Yeah, and here we are with game 2. Now, Fog, the draft as it developed for Nigma, I think is one we're going to be focusing on. A bit wild there, the Chen into the TB. Some interesting questions to be asked around there, aren't there?
Yeah, some heroes that are pretty much unpicked a lot of the times too, especially in the circuit. Chen being one of the big ones. Terrorblade also in a lot of regions was not really touched too much. I don't know about for SA for you. We did not have too much in Europe, yeah, but can definitely see the reasoning why. I think Curtis brought up the best point there probably at the end there for me was, you know, the Sunder. Sunder versus AA will give Chen maybe potentially time to be able to buy time for AA Blast to tick off, and then you can get your Hand of God off your heals, etc. So it's an interesting draft. It's greedy, and we'll see if it'll work, because I don't know, I'm really curious to learn some stuff about this this Chen hero, as I think it's probably one of the worst, if not the worst hero in pubs, but in pro play, always will change the concept of the hero. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with it, and I'm also looking forward to see, of course, Immersion Earth Spirit. We have to just immediately say that one right away. It's his most played hero. He's been super dominant whenever he's played it in like any of the time periods that has been out. Also, we have, of course, Mind Control Darks here, so we got a lot of these master tier heroes, master tier player combos coming into play.
Oh, we sure do. I mean, in terms of the style of the teams wanting to play these drafts, do you think there's a bit of a role reversal in the Nigma wanting to kind of play around the map and play the macro game, whereas Monaco sort of more tight together, the team fight combos?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, for me, this game, it's eyes on Immersion and Lorinov, same thing, kind of the foreign mid players to dictate the pace of the game and just get very far ahead, because if they don't get far ahead, I feel like we could see a similar thing happen where the Viper doesn't know where he's supposed to be in the game, because lane start excellent for the Viper last game, but then he ends the game like 3-2, where you're like, wait, what the heck's happening? This Viper was owning the game, but he just didn't have a place to actually do much of anything. They're actually under ward vision here.
Yeah, they got spotted placing the ward. Nigma knows exactly what's up.
They can't punish it though. Look at those level 1 heroes. Probably the worst level 1 heroes I think you could draft yourself with. Nyx, Chen, Invoker, TB. Like no one does much of anything. So
we've got no stuns, we've got no nukes. We're just gonna sit here and wait. And Kuro gets the D ward straight away.
Okay, I'm gonna be watching the Chen, seeing what he's gonna be doing, because as we know, you can't really take creeps until way later on. You can only take the early level like 1, level 2 creeps, or level 3, of course, are the big ones, but you don't really get good ones. Like, your best creep that you can get is like the Harpy and the Troll Hill Priest, which you can get I think at 4. Which we see them block a little bit messed up there from Miracle. Kuroki tried to help out.
Oh, he's going crosswex as well. I mean,
he is.
How do you feel about that in this game? Because I know Aoi said it's a bit better against the Lina in the laning stage, but it's not going to offer them that real big damage along with the Nyx and Darks here, is it?
No, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he does go for. If he does go for maybe something of a hybrid, because Sunstrike is very effective this game. He has Nyx Assassin. The hunting is always going to be very easy for you to just like one-shot the AA inside the fight. And AA does not have a bailout like he had last time with like the Lifestealer constantly saving him. So we will see which route he does take. Immediately, same thing. Saw this exact same thing from GH last time, always pulling waves.
And Mind Control just hiding in the trees, waiting for that movement from the carry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot on the shoulders of Miracle here with that crosswex Invoker, if he does go that directly, it looks like he is. Yeah. To make the early tempo plays, the rotations at level 6, level 7 especially.
I think it's a lot of the big thing for me is just like looking at mana pools too. Like some of these heroes, you get hit by EMP or you're screwed. The Viper and Earth Spirit, really reliant, of course, on that mana. But laning phase, I think Exort, for me, actually does not have fun versus Lina at all. Quas, you can trade because you've got the regen coming in. If you go Exort, you're playing Forge Spirit, and Lina just farms your Forge Spirit, and you fall really far behind.
Yeah,
so.
She's just outranging you, clicking you non-stop.
Yeah.
It's a real dangerous game you do play. Well, wave drag back here for Mind Control to gather up some of that early experience and gold, while Kobold...
Hey, Speedy!
He's got his little holy grail there on Speedy Boy, scouting out whatever's coming. An Immersion with Afterlife down here up against the Terrorblade so far seems pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he's into this Viper matchup. It's nowhere near as bad as a Lifestealer. They actually can pose some kill threat, perhaps if they do get a good positioning.
Oh, look
nice
at that.
Body blocks too.
Yeah, the Kobold's getting him. Oh, he's blocked him up. RTW, one more touch from that Metamorphosis gets him first blood.
All right,
and now top lane as well. BZZ in a bit of trouble. GH and Mind Control, they can't dive him under tier 1, but yeah, that bot lane play.
Wow. I mean, that was beautiful. Kuroki showing off with the Chen, just some body blocks. You don't need a creep that does anything, you just need an actual unit to just tank the tower.
You know, when Chen was
nice.
Semi-popular, like a year ago or so, people were taking range creeps, right?
Yeah.
You take the range creep, you got that kind of piercing damage, whacking into people, but yeah, straight away with a Kobold.
My God.
Beautiful stuff.
That was one of the most beautiful things I've seen from a Chen like ever. I love the body block plays. Mid, we're still seeing Lina coming out ahead, but at least you're not falling too far behind as that Invoker. Getting kills on Viper early is very impactful. That can tend to snowball the game out of control too, because last time Viper had a good lane and wasn't able to do too much. This is another one of those games where you could start to feel kind of out of the game very quickly as a Viper. All these summons, all these different things just getting on top of you.
Can't contend with them.
It's going to be annoying, yeah.
It's very similar for all those green heroes, the Viper, the Veno, the Necro. You know, if they have a good laning stage, they can snowball, but if they die 2-3 times in the first 5-6 minutes, they really can fall flat very quickly. And Dream up top for now. Far away, 15-5, still looking pretty good in that laning stage for Gambit as they roll onto TB bottom. Penitence, nice little slow, bit of turnaround from Mr. Kobold again, but RTW has the poison stacks on him. Dead to the Viper.
So strong, guys, I'm so strong.
Just before the urn gets delivered, so a little bit sad for Afterlife, but a great pickup nonetheless.
Dude, they're aggressive with their tips too. Last game they were tipping ILTW all the time as well. Again, he dies once and they tip him again.
Trying to get under his skin.
It does seem like it.
Miracle, now about 10 CS behind. Lorinoff putting that pressure on with the right clicks, brings out clarity. And 4 mana runes about to spawn, something that Invoker...
He needs help.
Yeah.
He always needs help to be checking these 4-minute runes because he can't push the lane out. Lina, one of the best heroes in the game to be able to force lanes. Invoker, not so much at all. So they will have GH check the top rune. GH getting chased out a little bit from BZZ, but he's fine.
Was that a bottle that was given to him by Darkseer,
yes.
I guess, as well?
Yep.
Sharing that bottle over to refill it up, so very
Love
nice
that.
done.
Love that.
Knowing that your Invoker's not going to be buying one. And there we have the Gambit boys. Smarter Gambit. Spotting out that mid lane, you know, EMP Tornado catching onto that Lina. And we do have a bit of a go in that mid spot.
I like being able to see them. We see Kuroki, he does hit his level 3, so he's got his level 2 persuasion. He finds the mana burn creep. This is actually pretty effective too, this game, especially versus Viper. Bit limited on your mana pool. We see Afterlife, he's prepared for it though. Has double mango and urn, so we'll have a decent chunk there.
Oh, that's a good stun top.
Up top.
Dream doesn't have time walk, already spent his dilation as well, but it looks like with the boots and 12-1 charges, he'll be fine to tango up and get back into that lane yet again. But it's the contest of that stack and the pull that was most important there for Nigma. Make sure they keep Dream away from these creep waves as that wave gets towards their tier 1. As Kuro,
he looks
he's
pretty dead.
going up, but Orb of Venom, the poison attack's going to start coming real heavy onto him. Chen down in the river, isolated, all alone. Another good start out for Gambit going into all these lanes.
Does pull them a bit far away from the lane at the very least, so ILTW gets some free last hits without just getting poked constantly from that Viper. So he'll be happy for that Chen death at the least. Lorinoff forced back to go to base again. Level 6 already online. And Miracle, he's farming up the double null into the urn.
Okay, so definitely looking for that active movement around sort of 6.5, 7 minutes where he'll move into probably the top lane, right? That's where your action's going to be with Nyx and Darkseer. Force the Void out of lane and then maybe shift the TB up there to give him a bit of safe farm. Right, for now, a nice bit of calm for both sides, but favouring Gambit, you know, looking at the CS and the net worth, they are starting to ramp up. Miracle is going to pop out that EMP on Lorinoff. Has enough sustain with his bottle charges though.
He spawns bottom. Gambit gets a bit lucky getting this one, spawning down there instead of top.
The RNG.
Yep, RNG always coming into play. Lorinoff has a nice stack. He can farm for himself on that small camp. Immersion already level 4 too. Nice start. Now bottom, Afterlife does have to be careful. He's getting mana burned up from Kuro. There's actually the double mana burn coming out. Very frustrating.
It was scouted though, that's why Afterlife is running all the way across. They saw GH with the Observer Ward, which literally just expired. I don't know if they saw the smoke, but they'll walk into the Nyx nonetheless. And GH, he tries, but he's silenced up straight up by Immersion.
Nice
Does get the 2-man stun, yeah, very nicely done. And GH, he's slipping away, but a hasted Lina, always going to close the gap for the Laguna Blade finish.
Radiant are scanning.
This is now the time where Miracle needs to start moving. He's got his urn. Oh, mind control though, the cold feet Chrono. They've got the bubble onto the Darkseer. He's a tanky fella, but if he gets some bashes going for Dream, they'll finish him off.
Of course they do. They get the nice double bash toward the end there. Some nice movements coming out from Gambit. This early aggressive lineup again that they've drafted themselves. Just like last game, they did have this good early movement in the start of the game. So doing similar. And now LTW may be feeling a bit pressured. He might actually have to start going to jungle just as this Terrorblade, because whenever Lina's off map, it's very scary. Let's see what Miracle tries to do. He's going to start pushing the mid lane a little bit for some reaction over.
I'm still curious about this Chen as well. What kind of item build, skill build? I hesitate to ask what you expect from it, because he's got Medallion, that's kind of normal. But, you know, 2 points. Oh, he's going to get gone on. Kuro, this immersion diving in, and Afterlife just pushes so much damage over time, especially with that urn, and gets himself a killing spree.
This is annoying, though. He might actually have to buy something like, I mean, he probably won't, but maybe something like mana boots, because these double mana burns, like he just did it again. Look, Afterlife, the god, come on. He actually queued up mana boots. He actually queued up mana boots. I was about to say, like, he's just getting triple mana burn. They have no mana bottom lane. He has an Earth Spirit with no mana. Yeah, he actually gets the mana boot, so he's going to be able to continue applying this pressure down here. And ILTW forced to jungle. Darkseer's lane a little bit complicated now, too, with the Nyx Assassins not with him. So now GH, he's going to do the Ion Shell meme. You know, he's just going to sit next to the creeps, get himself some levels, get that farm up for mind control.
I was going to ask if that stack was going to be for ILTW, but yeah, you're right. It's that Nyx Assassin.
He needs levels. I think they need something to fix a bit of this early game for them, because it's a very greedy draft that they put themselves in. So definitely need GH to have a bit of a better time to make moves around with Miracle. Speaking of Miracle, he's going to get hold feeded.
Yeah, he's stunned up. Chain disabled. It's a good carapace. Miracle, very fired. That wand as well. It was a big wand and a great tornado holds them back. Gambit still moving forward as they find Kuro elsewhere on the map, but Lorinov going to miss out on the Dragon Slave. A good sidestep from the Invoker, and bottom lane, that's where the action was. The trade out there, Kuro for Immersion. And Nigma going to be happy with that, all things said and done. I mean, mid and bot lane going their way.
Yep, and they also save ILTW's Metamorphosis. He didn't actually pop it there for the kill because of Mind Control rotating down at the early point in wall.
Very nice. It does leave top lane open a little bit, though.
It's always going to be hard for them to set onto Dream, unless Miracle makes the move up there, or unless he goes for something like an Orchid build, which he's not. They're going to have a pretty tough time actually killing Dream.
It was an early Void pick as well.
It was.
First phase Void pick, and they've not really given themselves the options to disable him. So what's the game plan going to be? Outrange him with a TB, get ILTW stronger than the Void?
Yep, I think that is definitely the plan. Just outfarm him. That's usually the thing that Terrorblades are able to do, is just get those item timings much faster than a hero like Void. Unless Void is getting successful chrono kills every single time, you should see the TB outfarm him over the course of the game.
Start to pull ahead. Oh, some good vision coming out again from Nigma. Guarding top triangle, watching for that bottom rune spot, and then entry points as Miracle, and yet again, chucks a few spells at Lorinov, chipping away at him, and gets out of the range of the Light Strike array.
Another rune bottom, though, and they're getting a lot of good RNG on their side for this control. Great ward coverage so far from Gambit, as we've seen all 4 of these wards placed early on, just aggressive, just be able to watch any type of movements that are coming out.
Yeah, see pretty much everything.
Yep. Afterlife, as we said, this time he's changed the build up a little bit because he had to go Arcane Boots early so he can actually lane. And they're just going to send the Darkseer down. So aggressive moves from the side of Nigma, very difficult to do. Until GH has 6, until Miracle wants to pair up with him, there's not much that they can do.
Yeah, biding their time. It's the waiting game. And we saw that from Vici Gaming earlier on today. Delay, delay, delay. Something that Invoker is exceptionally good at. Force people away from the tier 1 tower pushes especially.
Usually has some like Dream kind of combo to set up for the Cataclysm late game, which they don't have the easiest way to set up, but they do have Vacuum plus Nyx stun. If they get the Vacuum, Nyx stun, Cataclysm, like these team fights can just be devastating.
What if Chen gets like 4 Centaurs as well, you know? We've seen that before.
That is true. Don't get so ambitious over this.
I am expecting big things from Akuro Chen. Catapult Wave mid going to allow them to open up a little bit on the tier 1. Gambit mounting a defense though, like Strike Array onto Invoker, and the stun back from GH, but Dream's here with a Chrono.
Nice Chrono.
They catch out the Invoker, he's a tanky boy, and he's still going to get found though. Lorinov with all that magic damage to pump into the Chronosphere, and Terrorblade can't finish off the tower.
That was beautiful. Mind Control not looking to punish top, he sees an AA by himself. That Ion Shell starting to build, and he's saving the Vacuum, just in case for the TP. Should be able to just get the kill now.
Yeah, there it is.
Nicely done.
BZZ down. That's going to give free reign to Mind Control to keep on farming up top. Well, it looks like GH in behind enemy lines here, trying to get in behind the Viper potentially.
Oh, and they do have 3 creeps mid. It's only going to be illusions. Yeah.
Viper's the one being eyed up. GH doesn't really have the backup that he wants close enough to him, but Afterlife might still get caught out here in the trees. He's juked through though. Passes by the observer ward, but yeah, that was very close from GH to find the latch onto him.
And now we've got Hand of God in play, so something that people probably won't expect.
Afterlife put back into them. They've got the stuns there. Invoker's rotation, that's what we've been expecting from Miracle. Get the action going, but the Ice Blast and Dream arriving, wanting GH's Nyx Assassin. A trade out, but Nigma's going to be able to defend towers, make sure that Gambit can't make the aggressive moves.
They're fine with this. You know, this was a really good move actually from Nigma, getting an Urn Charge. They're pushing top lane with the Darkseer. They're getting mid farm for the Tower Blade. They're happy with this move. Another tip. Look at what is going? They're just tipping ILTW.
Oh, and BZZ's dead as well. Miracle with alacrity finds the pick off. Oh, I'm starting to wonder, you know, LTW maybe he's played with a couple of these CIS players in the past.
I do believe so, and that's the Spirit Vessel now done. So Miracle's got a very good timing on this one. Nothing like fantastic where it's actually just countering any type of healing, but it does increase your threat potential, and immediately they smoke.
Straight away.
GH and Miracle making the moves here with Kuroki too. The Vendetta's online.
He's got a Hellbear, Wild Wing, and that's long enough. Spotted out. Yeah, they go straight on with a Tornado, catching the Lina. Huge kill for Nigma. That shuts her down real hard. You know, we were talking about the Viper in that regard. The snowball required. Lina in a similar spot, isn't she?
Yes. And again, yeah, this is just the early aggression that we saw from Nigma last time, playing around this aggressive ward vision, taking over triangle very early on. Emergent showing himself bottom, actually just has to roll away.
And TP's into mid. Might want to smoke up with Ancient Apparition and try and get something rolling themselves. But it is just 3 lanes here from Nigma, pressuring him towards towers, forcing Gambit to react and play defensively.
And he's tipping them back now too. Looks like a smoke going to be coming out for Gambit to try to punish. But they have to punish something. Their 3 cores are showing on 3 lanes. So they have to start making some type of moves when they don't have Chrono. Chrono is going to be back up in 2 seconds, but I feel like they want to save it for a big kill. They want to try to get 1 kill without it, and then if any TP follow-ups come, then they use the Chronosphere. They can't force it too much.
Oh, look at ILTW. Oh, it's going to be a close one. He does get found, yeah. Sunder, not going to be there, is it? He's silenced and stunned. Oh, he gets it off. The Ice Blast, though, is going to finish him off. Emergent rolling back across towards that lower part of the map, but they've got a vacuum wall onto the 2. Afterlife and BZZ will have to pay with their lives as they played aggressively to this triangle, but in comes Dream. They might have a Chrono turnaround. Inside the Nether Toxin as well. They pick off. Miracle and GH is gone as well. Oh, Gambit, what a beautiful play. Just like you said, Fox, wait with that Faceless Void to come in for the last move.
Oh, they still lose Immersion, the wall, and the Ion Shell still coming out into fruition a little bit for him. But yes, big moves, getting both cores. And inside the Nether Toxin, that's definitely the big thing. And all that, it's through Hand of God. They didn't actually have to worry about that heal at all.
Yeah, Kuroki was pushing down bottom lane with a few little creepies.
Yep. Tried to help out with the heal, but didn't matter, did not actually push them up far enough. I mean, great moves. Really good invasive moves. Double wards placed down around the triangle now, too, because that's where TP's going to farm most of this time here.
Do you want to see like a shard or anything like that from the Chen? Like, he's got Medallion, but what, like, next item feels a little bit difficult for him to get towards.
Gary, I gotta say, I have no idea anymore with this here. Solar Crest, he's got it at a nice early time, which is great. He's going to be able to buff up whenever the TP's inside of the fights, but beside that, I don't really know what you get anymore. I think Holy Locket's a decent option. If the Darkseer doesn't go mech, you go mech. Even though you're versus AA, you can still be kind of decent. Yeah. I think right now he's happy. He's very satisfied, at least with himself.
That's a good sentry mid. Emergent sees GH, but he didn't react in time. I think he was looking elsewhere, so that allows Miracle and GH to get on top of him. A little bit of a slow reaction there from the Earth Spirit, and now Roshan.
There's no Chronosphere.
Opens up for Nigma into the pit. Metamorphosis from ILTW.
And they've got Solar Crest for this, plus the Alacrity.
Oh,
buffed up TB.
Goodness. Look at him go. Oh, Mind Control's going to tank it up for him. Ancient Apparition can probably scout in the pit. If he steps too far forward, though, GH will be ready to strike. 10
seconds on Ice Blast still. Lornoff nowhere near Dream, as we said, Chrono not available. Yeah, they can't contest this.
No, they can't. There's a 3-1 for Nigma. And now there's a Terrorblade with Dragon Lance, Yasha, and that Aegis of the Immortal while they smoke straight out of the pit. They want to push this advantage as hard as they can.
And we see Miracle is starting to go toward a bit of that hybrid. 4 points in Quas, 5 points Wex, getting more points in Exor, now going Midas, so he can have that great scaling potential later on for Cataclysm and 5-point Alacrity.
That high ground ward sees him.
Afterlife.
They don't want to go too deep, respecting the fact they could TP to tier 3, so they cut in between the wave instead. And Afterlife, oh my god, it just doesn't last long. That's a Viper. Slain in a matter of seconds.
And he gets the whole wave as well, too, on Miracle. Midas is going to be coming out right after this one. Immersion's considering perhaps going, but they're very limited on the way they can make moves. It seems like they're only trying to make plays with the Chronosphere, which it feels like they might start getting outpaced.
And Dream also heading towards BKB.
They both have to, it feels like. The king of teamfight, as we always say, Darkseer, is really brutal, especially when you have like something with an EMP combo on top of it. A vacuum into EMP, your fight's over if you don't have that magic immunity. Again, this ward.
Sunstrike. I ain't gonna fight BZZ. He came in to try and de-ward it, didn't he? Yeah, Vortex and Sentry there. He knows the ward's on the high ground, but that's a couple of kills they've successfully claimed, while Terrorblade kills mid-tier 1. Top tier 1 opens up the top third of the map to himself, so it's free farm time continuing for RTW.
And it's the second game now where we see Afterlife, great start in the game, but now we're seeing them just abusing the Viper. The slowness of this hero is getting caught off guard. Nigma's playing a bit too fast here. Again, Emergent, they see him.
Oh goodness! He just stood straight on top of that high ground. He gets magnetized with a vacuum wall. Afterlife's caught up inside of it. Dream gets the Chrono in.
It's only on one.
Does only catch one, and Miracle's still pummeling into them. The Meatball dropped an Afterlife. The Laguna Blade towards that. Darkseer, mind control falls, but Afterlife is dead as well. Oh, do we get some buybacks? Emergent wants to buy back. Miracle, Ice Blast, and the Urn, but a great Sunder. RTW saves up his main carry. Miracle's still going to get rolled on though, but GH looking for the lineup of the stun. Dream, time walks away, but the carapace and the catch onto him might be able to finish him off, as Miracle's still surviving. Even at the cold snap, Miracle's alive. No way. Doesn't survive. The AA gets the final touch, but Aegis is claimed up. Dream has done a great job tracking back onto that TB, while AA gets away from that top part of the fight, and Dream looks safe and sound.
Dude, look at Kuro.
As Shen is chasing the AA.
Kuro with the Penitence max build plus the Solar Crest. Look at him go.
Come on then. You want to fight me?
He's going to die.
Level 4 Penitence.
He's actually going to get him.
Just bullying him. He's whacking into the AA.
Oh my god, dude.
That's a solo kill.
Dude.
How much gold has he got from that?
Earlier too in the fight, he had all the illusions from the Darkseer. He penitences a hero with the Solar Crest, all the illusions beating on somebody.
That's powerful.
Oh my god, that was actually pretty sick.
Heck, look, Shen creeps, wall illusions, TB illusions, Force Spirits. We were talking about the zoo earlier on, and the Lycan ban, which we didn't really get to talk about, that Monaco did pull out. Definitely a sound, solid plan there, because it's definitely coming to fruition now with all of these summons.
And it definitely all kicks off with, it's a one-man Chrono, right? It only catches not only one hero, but it's the tanky hero. They catch the Darkseer with the pipe inside of it. So even though they have to utilize some buybacks to get some return kills, Nigma is still in a perfectly fine position. Their Aegis goes down, but in a very effective way. As ILTW, now he's up, he's got Metamorphosis, and he almost actually saved Miracle and all of that too.
Oh, it was a really closely contested team fight. It was real wonderful stuff from RTW.
But that's their Chrono fight. That's the fight that Gambit has to smash the fight, because without it, they don't really have too many plays that they can make. GH.
Yeah, now they're kind of picking up scraps and looking for whatever they can. And GH, he scouted them. Time dilation from Dream. He's looking towards Miracle, but Immersion gets away from GH. Mind control runs off to the left, and it looks like Miracle's still being chased, but a tornado. Oh, time dilation ending. So he'll get the invoke back off cooldown. Ghost Walk on cooldown though. So still troubling times ahead for Miracle. Deafening Blast. He's got EMP up, but he's dead. He's done for. Immersion closes the gap and helps out Dream.
Oh, I was a little worried too, because I'm like, uh-oh, Immersion's actually out of stones, but Dream, time dilation versus Invoker. 5 spells cooldown, 5 stacks of time dilation is no joke. It's able to stick on him. And now, you know, Chronosphere is actually going to be back up in 8 seconds, and that was meta forced. So Nigma making a pretty big mistake there as Gambit able to punish it heavily.
I guess the fortunate side for Nigma is no Roshan, no real objectives that Gambit can go for.
Yes.
Tier 1 mid, they can probably come back and defend when everyone's alive, because the waves were so far pushed out.
But this Void is top net worth still. Dream 408 above a Terrorblade. That is pretty damn good for him.
Exceptional. GH gonna hold out on that mid lane.
Radiant are scanning.
Gambit all grouped up together and smoking. GH pinged that. He knows exactly what's going on. And he should be able to pop the smoke. He does, in fact.
There is the Chronosphere available.
Immersion coming. Miracle. He's jumped on by Immersion, but a nice little maneuver out. Forces another roll while GH toys with the Viper. Rodomatos in towards him. No carapace for another couple of seconds, so sacrifices himself.
Exactly. That was such a nice sacrifice. He literally runs into the 3 of them and there, stuns the Viper with the carapace, stuns the other 2. He's like, don't look at Miracle, look at me. As they're still going to continue to try to push this tower here. No Metamorphosis, so Nigma not looking to contest around this area. Also into Chronosphere, as we said before, still open for Gambit.
Yeah, you know they're going to play tight-knit together. That small map for Gambit, and you've got Terrorblade out on the map. And it looks like Darkseer down bottom as well, so spreading out more efficiently, farming. And Dire even scanning in their own jungle, expecting someone to be there as well.
pretty interesting that we see GH just going for the Ags build this game. Guess he wants to like sit really far back while they're sieging and just wants to be able to throw spells from deep distance without being like in presence of like a Chronosphere opportunity. Kind of neat. I thought maybe he would go for something like Blink because I saw Mind Control rush it.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe they'd go for some type of combo, you know, Blink Vacuum Stun, but not going to be the case. I think the other one is, I mean, it has its merits for sure to be able to sit back.
I guess the range on the stun with Aghanim Scepter increases, right? So
yeah.
You've got like a pseudo blink almost. That range gives you the
mana burn as well too is pretty ridiculous. That ability as the game progresses gets absolutely insane. And we do know this is a pretty greedy draft, even though there's a Chen, which is kind of like anti-greed, which is more of like an early game pressure hero. The other picks are the Darkseer, Terrorblade, Invoker. These heroes just continue to scale pretty ridiculously. As Dream spotted bottom, but he also sees GH with that Sentry Ward, so GH is going to be pushed away.
Oh, they're so afraid. GH, usually a signal that there's more heroes behind him. Darkseer was just clearing out that wave. And Nigma continuing to take a hold of this map.
So we have a pretty cool concept coming into play because we don't see Chen, right? But we did see an early pick Invoker. So he is queuing up the shard. I know you were talking to me about it. This is actually a save mechanic inside Chronosphere.
Oh yeah, it is.
So that is actually something pretty cool that we could see coming into play later on when Kuro does finish it. As they're actually, it looks like maybe they're even giving him some farm for it. Because, I mean, that could be huge, right? The Chronosphere only catches 1 or 2 heroes. If he's able to send them back to base, reset the fights, that could be pretty massive. So that's actually pretty cool. We'll see if that does actually end up happening.
That could be really great. Yeah, he's going to have the Force Staff and that shard save.
Yeah.
Is it, I guess it's because they changed it around a bit with Kotal and the Chen, right? It literally sends you back to Fountain, doesn't it?
Sends you back to Fountain, yeah. It's small cast range, so it's only 600.
Okay.
So it's actually not as much as usual. Sometimes you'll find, you know, like a telescope or something a little later on. They will help you out. So we will see if that does happen.
It's like the old combo we used to see with Storm, like ball lining out of base with that, with that on him, or the old Pudge hooks back in the Fountain. Oh, hello, Dream. Do all good stuns and Sunstrike Meatball. Nah, he's a faceless void. He's fine. He's fine with the Time Walk.
Both health talents as well. We see the 9 strength and 300 HP talent, so he's just fine versus this aggression. He also has Pupil's Gift, so even more strength on top of all of it there to be tanky.
2,500 HP.
Yeah. So let's see. They also can what? Who's actually ones who can potentially still go for Boots of Travel? I think it's just Miracle, because that's usually the way you want to do it, right? You send them back, they box right back into the fights. So timing's not coming out for Nigma. Ags is done on the Invoker too. So they are still in a strong moment here, but Dream, he is still keeping up net worth versus Terrorblade, which is huge as a Void.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Usually the TB, this is where we start to see, like when this game starts to slow down, the TB starts to pull ahead, but yeah, LTW, these 2 deaths definitely hurt him a bit. And the
first hit
Dream.
bash. He finds the next assassin. Aflap's there to help him out with a bit of stun and disable from that Atos. And Dream, that Time Walk straight into the camp.
Yep.
Well, they're drawing the line across the Roshan. What's the timer on that? Over a minute?
1 minute 15, yep.
Still a little bit of time to play around with here then.
If they can get a pick off in the next minute or so on the side of Gambit, they could be the ones that look to actually take it away from Nigma.
Especially on like the Invoker who just bought out all of his items, right?
Yes, he did.
I mean, buybacks now becoming increasingly important, especially on these support heroes.
We're seeing a lot more defensive warding coming out from Nigma now. It's actually very defensive warding also from the side of Gambit, just waiting for that Rosh, it does feel like.
Yeah, it's a pivotal moment.
Oh, that is a rare talent I see right there. 40 attack speed on the Void. I'm not a big fan of this one normally, so we'll see. The Time Walk just works so well with the Shard once you start getting it, once you get that advantage, but looks like he wants all-in damage for himself. We'll see if that ends up hurting him, because that Time Walk talent is busted. Once you get Shard, it is so broken.
You're jumping in and out over and over again.
The distance as well that you get with the cooldown just starts to get pretty ridiculous. We'll see if that does actually hurt Dream, because I actually see like almost no Voids take that attack speed talent anymore.
Especially against the team you were mentioning, Nigma have struggles catching, right? Nyx Assassin, the Vacuum, that's kind of it. Maybe Invoker Tornado can clip him. 3 couriers flying overhead, a squadron of couriers there from Nigma, probably going to smoke together. TB Illusions looking to scout out into that dire jungle top side, and Gambit grouped up in that mid lane.
But they got Invoker with Ags, they got Scotty on the Terrorblade, and it looks like Mind Control has an Aeon Disc at the ready to unlock if he sees an opportunity.
And Mind Control putting out all the iron shells he can. He's got that Blink Dagger jump with GH stun, and they've seen a target bottom. Faceless Void already TPing out though. So Dream dodges away from all that danger coming his way.
Much smoother game this time from Dream. Last game we saw him get caught twice as the Naga in some pretty precarious positions. This time, level 21, playing the map really smooth.
And now is it there? Yeah, I was going to say, is it their time to smoke? You know, we see one smoke kind of fail.
Rosh time.
It's Rosh time, let's go. And Gambit, what? Do you want to see them go into Rosh or like into Radiant Triangle and fake the Roshan, hold out for a fight?
I think they can start it. Dream can start to hit it at the very least because he's got Mask of Madness.
They ping it out.
It's going to get scouted right away.
They know exactly what's going on. Enigma, they've got a long trek across the map. They've got to migrate from the bottom lane up towards Roshan. It's going to be a close call.
They'll VGH right away, too. They have the Warden Sentry outside.
Yeah.
They even see ILTW for a second.
Oh, she's dead.
It's too late.
They're still going to jump in with a 3-man back. No, able to catch us 2 in the BKBs. Afterlife and Dream able to turn back onto GH. Good Chrono as well. They're going to Blade. Takes out the next assassin. No buyback on him. And Nigma falling apart around the Roach pit. Like Striker 8 to deal with some of these illusions as well. Nigma want immersion, but he can't be found. And Dream just rolling straight on in with the help of Immersion's Earth Spirit. Great like Striker 8. Shen's a goner. A double kill for your Faceless Void after taking Roshan themselves.
Such a good, I mean, it's such a perfect timing really for the smoke, for them to actually get into the pit. A move from Nigma sends them all the way to the opposite side and they can't actually make it in time. And that was their timing that they went for too. That was the Scotty, that was the Invoker X. They even popped the meta. ILTW now has no meta for the upcoming fight either. So it's going to give time for Chronosphere to come back up and it's going to give time for Gambit to continue taking advantage of this map.
Oh my god, oh, the Glimmer. It's a good tornado. I don't know if it'll finish him. It will, just about. I mean, what, is that Nigma losing track of the Roshan timer? I mean, they went down to bottom to find the Faceless Void, but it felt like they should have been there a little bit sooner.
Just happens, Dream. He got it. I mean, it was just a great TP out. He read the movement. If he gets caught there, a completely different situation where maybe they just get the Rosh.
Yeah, that's true. A good read by Gambit overall, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder now, a lot of these series going 1-1. What starts to happen if we've got a bunch of 1-1s in this wildcard?
Redo everything. Let's go.
Rico, best of 2s again, another round. It's starting to look like it might even go that way. I mean, Nigma taking Vici Gaming 1-1. So was it Secret against Gambit as well? Yeah. Oh, we're going to have a cracking wildcard here for when we play AniMajor.
And it really is looking pretty tough now for Nigma to utilize the Chen at the maximum, right? They don't really have these great combos.
They're going for Miracle. Gunning for him inside that jungle. They've got Dust Reveal. They do clip him there as the immersion goes deep. Thunderlation from Dream. Everyone jumped off the ILTW, but that Terrorblade pretty damn strong. Clears through the Earth Spirit, no problem. And Gambit reconsidering their actions, but they do Time Walk Rewind in there with a nice blast. Laguna Blade just gets demolished. No Sunder, no saves, no chance for ILTW. And Mind Control is on the run. Faceless Void can't keep tabs on him, and Gambit, they strike real hard into the heart of the jungle.
They know there's no meta available, so the biggest team fight thing that they have to be worried about is just off the table. Even though they don't have Chrono, they have Aegis, they have Cheese, they have this huge power spike with them. They just chase forward. Dream, nice plays there with his Time Walk for sure. The jump in and the jump out, then resets back in with BKB. So no Sunder target. The poor TB is just standing there.
He's just going to go and try and 1v3 them here.
Sure.
He's running straight at this Chen. He knows that Kuroki, potentially a freebie, the Ice Blast, the Yule setup. Try and clip onto Mind Control as well. They've got a Vacuum, Cataclysm, stun out from GA. Turn out from Miracle. They found the Lina. The Chrono's required, but the others there onto Mind Control's going to save him and buy a bit of time as Dream focuses the next assassin. There's plenty of stuns coming though. Carapace, Cold Snap, chaining up onto the Faceless Void. And Aegis is gone. Nigma, Miracle, the Invoker outplays. Fog is starting to happen. Penitence and Forge Spirits. And they got much left in the tank. Miracle's running low on mana and he gets dusted up. So the Ghost Walk not going to give him that ability to keep chasing forward. Dream should be out of there with Mom and Time Walks.
They did not give respect to the fight when it was like all of them just like split up there. Nigma capitalizing here, finally getting a 2-man stun into the Cataclysm. Nice Deafening Blast too, the disarm inside that Chronosphere. Even just for a second, it's effective.
Snap Smoke.
And they're moving in.
They go straight towards Dream. He spends Time Walk. The stuns come. Dream is getting his BKB off, but the Time Walk got cooldown. He's dead. And RTW, he's got meta going. This might even force a buyback at a Void, dare I say? Like, they can't go high ground though, can they? They're still tier 2 standing.
Like Gambit splitting up, like Afterlife TP top to go do so. I'm not sure what he was actually doing with the Viper when the rest of his team was still looking for a fight all during this. Nigma capitalizes heavily after what looked like a bit of a big disaster there. Now they've got their meta. They're going to siege to tier 2, and they've got Alacrity buff up.
Dire's middle tower is
straight onto that tower. I mean, Metamorphosis, what, for another 10 seconds or so? Do they push up to high ground here and just force the hand of Gambit to do something drastic? Because they've got Catapult, Forge Spirit, another Toxin placed down on the ramp. Slows the advance of Nigma for now, just for a second, as Mind Control blinks and surges. He was looking for that. One kill could be what tips the scales for Nigma here to just end the game.
Void's still down for 30.
Didn't have to use buyback yet, though. And Nigma going to have to give up on their plans of pushing.
But, I mean, massive fight after what looked like they were going to get run over.
Yeah.
Full BKB now comes out for Miracle. Full item also for the Terrorblade. Everyone just got so much gold influx to them because of that pretty big slip up from Gambit splitting up.
And Roshan negated, right? That second Aegis is meant to be able to get yourself tier 2s, maybe high ground push. But you look at the Radiant side of the map now. There's still every tower up top lane, tier 2 mid and bot lane. And Gambit might start to struggle to really close this one out. 22 to 22. Slight net worth lead for Nigma. Again, back into the dead even game in terms of metrics.
And I don't want to say it, but you know that time walk cooldown when he BKB's there,
you're right.
His time walk would have been back up, Gary. That would have probably saved him in that situation there. So
you're spot on. It was literally 1 second. It was literally 1 second cooldown difference between the Void surviving or dying.
They're still in an okay position. They still have very strong fight, especially when Chrono's up and they know meta's still down right now. They still could look to take some of them there, but they do have to be careful not to split up ever like that again. They cannot give these opportunities to Nigma when they had that type of lead.
And GH burrowing, hiding under the ground, setting up for a TV to try and split push a little further in that top lane.
Oh, and he's just a nuisance too. I mean, 1 or 2 mana burns. Now that he's level 16, he's got max mana burn. 1 or 2 mana burns inside of these team fights is pretty ridiculous too. Like Lina, you've got BKB, but if you don't use it right away, you get caught by a mana burn into a stun, into another mana burn, you're out of the fight.
Yeah.
So Gambit does still have to be a bit careful with the way they position themselves, need to get some of these dream chronos again, as he has a full butterfly now.
Oh, that's nice.
A bit more survivability for him versus the Terrorblade.
And Lina getting pretty big as well.
Yeah.
MKB, BKB going back into Dragonlance, it looks like. Trying to pick that one up.
Yeah, a bit interesting how Dream went for just his own build. He just went for his own aggressive build rather than looking at the, I guess, the Elven Tunic in particular from that Terrorblade, plus the evasion talent. Could see these misses coming into play for sure. Sure, he's got a lot of attack speed because he has the talent and Butterfly, but there's more evasion now on ILTW.
Dire's middle tower
Well, a roll
is
up to
under
high
attack.
ground, Immersion yet again leading the charge.
He has the gem too, so he wants to be the one in the front versus that Nyx.
Looks like Kuroki's Chen has already managed to get away from that
Dire's middle
dangerous
tower
area.
is under
And he's got the shard now too on the Chen, important to point out. He
Very
did die
nice.
on the Courier earlier, but
And Dire Vision still up on that high ground, and Miracle getting rolled
Dire's top
towards.
tower
he's
is under
speedy.
attack.
Speedy Invoker, yeah.
He's got BKB too, so he's a lot safer in a lot of these fights.
And look at GH. He's so emboldened by his Axe pickup. He walks straight in towards them. The send back from the Chen. Oh, it's not going to be in time, though. Now the Miracle gets the BKB off, but the physical damage shreds through the Invoker, and he's dead for 70.
What's our time? 35 seconds till we find out that Roche. But their lanes, look at the lanes though from Gambit. They have to actually go back to top, back to bottom to push them out. So they get this nice kill from this Chronosphere, the nice 2 kills, but can't actually turn it into anything else just yet.
Yeah, they're on the back foot still. I mean, what, TB illusions, Chen creeps, ion shells, everything making life very difficult for Gambit.
Let's find out that Roche. 10 seconds. They have the illusion already in there.
There's a casual mango on the floor. And GHE again back into his position up towards top. Make sure that whoever shows up there is pestered and annoyed.
He can still set up with Cataclysm pretty easily too, whenever the Invoker does respawn.
Oh, 1 minute 20 for Roshan.
Yeah.
A decent spawn time there. Everyone should be alive.
It's, what, 1 minute 20 you said, right? So 80, okay, so it's Chronosphere is pretty much going to be back up as soon as that Roche comes out. So maybe a
Perfect.
pretty fortunate timing there for Gambit that it's not super fast.
And it looks like both teams, they know that Roche could be up. They want to start smoking, find these team fights, especially for Gambit to set the lanes where they want them across the river. And Nigma just going to be holding their position now around the Roche pit. Radiant side just loves that triangle. Juicy smoke from Nigma coming out.
They've got meta.
They know that Dream is a little bit out in the open.
Yeah, no Chronosphere, and they have meta of their own, so they should feel pretty strong inside of the fight. And these, I mean, the lanes just keep getting forced. Top wave, we have double siege wave coming into play. Illusions keep getting sent up there too, so they have to address it. Nigma trying to catch something while they are split up here a bit. But they're all sticking together now. Rallied around the gem.
Yeah, stay tight to it.
Yeah. Play around this one ward vision was one ward that they do have on the high ground right now. Alacrity talent is taken now finally from Miracle. We see most of these Invokers, of course, skip the rest of them because they're not that great.
TV is going to be a happy chappy.
It is pretty strong. 129 bonus attack speed and damage for an already monstrous TV.
Are scanning.
What did he end up buying on that TV now? RTW.
He just got MKB.
MKB.
Yeah. He's got the Elven Tunic already built in for that evasion from earlier.
So I saw at one point, I don't know if you saw it, he had Diffusal Blade queued up for a second.
I saw him do that one of their games, but they were playing versus Medusa.
Medusa, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's extremely effective damage item on agility heroes, as the damage is 100% of what you mana burn, especially with like illusion heroes too now. It's even it's different, but it's kind of just better than it was before. So, but not this game. It doesn't have a place.
Yeah, because he finished off the Scardy instead of it. Looks like he just gave up on the idea.
Needs to be a little bit more tanky so it doesn't just get burst.
It's so irritating for Gambit though. Everywhere they move, there's a Forge Spirit, a TB illusion, something that's getting in their way.
Like bottom's gonna get pushed out right now. Nigma's wave is gonna continue getting forced out onto their side, and his other two lanes, Mind Control, keep seeing him ion shelling mid. TB sends illusions top, so it's very annoying actually for poor Gambit to get out on the map to look for the fight. They have Chrono though, so it's gonna happen soon. And they potentially do have the gold. They actually do have the gold right now for the Void, and if I'm not mistaken, it looks like they were trying to give Dream level 25. Yeah, they're all moving away from his XP, so nearly backtrack available for Dream 2, so pretty big.
That could be a turning point here for them.
They're both pretty close to 25. Lornav's a little bit too far though. Dream? A little bit slip up there.
Yeah, illusion rune.
Feels the ghost walk for a second there. He knows that he's there. I want him to go finish for that 25 though. I think it's just too important. Like, he's just about to have the backtrack.
There's nowhere to farm though. Look, the TB illusion's cleared out his triangle. Everywhere else in his own jungle's gone.
Give him the main. Give him mid and play behind him. Yeah, this is the play. This is good.
Because you can't go bottom, right? It's too far away from Roche Pit. You're just going to be handing over Roshan to Nigma.
No, this is good. Sit behind him in the mid. But geez,
TB illusions, ion shells.
And ion shells.
They're really
illusions.
Pissing him off.
Yeah. Miracle also now we did find Timeless Relic. So damage.
So good.
Damage is going to be ridiculous with all of his spells, but also we have to factor in the disarm. The disarm from the Deafening Blast also
the duration.
The duration. Yeah, the duration plus your cold snaps and everything. It's going to be very strong. Can mess you up though. I've seen a lot of times with these tornado lit times. Yeah. You're just like, wait, this lasts forever now. So does have to be a bit careful there.
So you're hoping for them to have status resistance at that point.
Yeah.
Let's go. Just drop quicker, please.
Which he does. You know, he does have SNYs.
That's true. Satanic now as well.
Yep.
So we hit 25, get the Satanic going.
What other items did we see picked up? Lornoff, he got himself a leveler. I believe the TB swapped the Elven Tunic for the leveler too. And Lornoff, he's also almost hitting his 25, so that attack range plus his Dragon Lance, he's going to be able to just keep a distance and actually hit back the Terrorblade perhaps from that distance.
How are we looking on buybacks here? I mean, Chen, Invoker, Earth Spirit, the three with them. Lina will have hers soon.
Not many.
Really, not many at all. It's going to be incredibly important for some of these heroes to buy back and get towards the Roche Pit again, because that's definitely where the fight's going to start kicking off as the Void time walks straight into the pit. Thinks about starting it. Nigma are in the vicinity.
He does do it at full HP, but just has to be a little careful of this pesky GH. He's pinging. He knows that he's there, so does have to be a little cautious. They're actually going to smoke and look for the wrap. It's caught though. The scan actually sees him.
Oh, I mean, GH is going to get an abandon soon. He's been sat by the Roche Pit for a good 2-3 minutes, just burrowed in the ground. Well, there's smoke, like you say. Coming across, Haste Rune.
They're not revealing it yet. They're not picking up the Haste Rune.
Not grabbing it.
This is the bait.
GH is going to pop the smoke there. They know exactly where he is. Sentry Ward, Observer Ward down on the low ground. They silence and catch out the next assassin, but the Hand of God, is that enough? No way. Carapace, turnaround's done. Oh, he's dead though, with a vacuum into the wall. Good 4-staff time walk from Dream. And next assassin dead for 1 minute, knowing that he doesn't have buyback, so Nigma in a 4v5.
They popped the meta as well too, so they got to commit into this fight soon. Gambit resetting.
They're trying to stick around in this pit. I think RTW wants to try and steal it.
He has to go for this because he has meta.
But here comes the the Ice Blast comes in as well, the Scythe of Ice. The Deafening Blast, no, the Sun Strike. Cataclysm coming to land in as well, but RTW's in trouble. Oh, he's sent back.
He dies.
Oh, he's still gone. The Mind Control Leon Disc is popped as well. He's used up. Light Striker Ray connecting. That's Roshan going to Gambit.
They had to try to commit though because they popped the meta and they didn't have any dieback from GH, but it ends up working horribly against them. As even though they get the send back, he dies in the base from the AA blast.
So close. Beautiful stuff from Gambit though. I mean that kill knowing. Yeah, we looked at it knowing there's no buyback there from the next assassin. making sure they get that one kill, numbers advantage around the Roshan pit, and now the world is their oyster.
GH stayed in the same place for just too long, and you can actually like save this Nyx assassin perhaps if you can get in close enough for like a 4-step, but Kuroki couldn't, ILTW didn't want to, so he just gets chain silence and he's dead. He can't pop out of his burrow, he's just trapped inside that location. Looked a bit weird because Dream, you know, having to pop BKB and Satanic, but it ends up working just fine as they get Aegis, they get Cheese, and now they have a shard for the next fight too, for the next Chrono.
And this Lina is becoming huge as well.
Yeah, she
Daedalus just picked up, so the right-click damage coming into the Chronosphere, that's going to be monumental from Lorinov.
And look at the distance.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Artillery cannon, 10 miles away, pummeling the buildings. High ground time now from Gambit, it looks like as well, while Dream pushes up mid lane into the tier 3. GH has burned the majority of his mana though. Definitely bothering him as a good stun into Meatball. Scythe of Ice, vacuum back to Glimmercape though, buys a bit of space for the Viper, half HP to run away.
But they're sieging two sides. Lorinov is also pushing bottom. That's, you know, pushing into a Nyx high ground is quite pesky when they go for this Aghanim's build. This is what you're supposed to do exactly. Split it up, go for two different sides while they do that setup there with the burrow.
And now Nigma all respawn.
They're chasing out.
Gambit try and disengage, but Miracle, he's caught a glimpse of Afterlife. The BKB TP looks like it should be successful. There's nothing to stop him.
Nice. I was gonna say he should be fine. He's got Flicker too, so he can just, you know, dispel the cold snap and continue moving. But takes the safer route.
Top tower is under attack.
Okay, I'm in a very good position now here.
Yeah, what's the move from Nigma? Do you want to wait out this Aegis and hope to hold high ground, or try and get out of the map with split push like they were doing before?
I think if they just keep playing it too patient, it's going to play into this Gambit hand, actually. They'd have the potential for these crazy wombo combos, but yeah, I'm not sure it's different. Yeah, relying on it is quite complicated. And just relying on like Kuroki trying to save somebody inside of a Chronosphere is also just not really that reliable either, because it's 6 seconds. Like, that's the one thing about this. Back in the day, it used to, you know, it dropped down from like 6, 5, 4, maybe even down to 3 if maybe it was 4. But either way, like, this is 6 seconds. It's a very long time delay to get sent back inside of a Chrono. Literally, the whole Chronosphere will be gone by then. Might have to preemptively do it.
Yeah, use it on someone, run them in, force out a couple of spells, and then kind of do that guerrilla tactics, back and forth, kite them out.
It just feels very complicated for the win conditions now for Nigma inside of these team fights. They need some miraculous connections with every single spell.
And we're looking at him there.
We are.
That's the man. That Invoker right there. I do have a lot of buybacks on Nigma now as well. I mean, Darks is the only one without it, so that could be something that they use to their advantage.
I still see GH only with this Ags. He's got Aeon disc queued up. I can see why for like the survivability, but I feel like they need some other way to start fights. They actually just have a blink vacuum every single one of these, so it just seems really difficult for them.
Oh, misses out on his stun.
Uh-oh.
I think GH has been baited by his Invoker a little bit there, telling him to go on the Viper. And so another Toxin. They'll whittle away at him little by little. And now pick off on him.
I didn't get to point this out either, but Emergent finds himself a Timeless Relic, and he's got the +3 Geo Grip. Oh, Chrono is totally off the mark.
He was hunting for Miracle there.
He's got a Refresher Shard, but he actually, okay, he tips Miracle. I thought Miracle tipped him. All right. But yeah, let's look at the silence duration from this Earth Spirit now. So 6.5 seconds pre-debuff duration buff. So that's like a 9-second, just about a 9-second silence that's going to be coming out from this Earth Spirit.
Yeah, good luck, honestly. What do we have? We've got BKB Invoker, Manta TB, but everyone else is kind of screwed, aren't they?
Nyx can't do anything. Darkseer can't do much of anything if they do get silenced up. He has Aeon Disc at least to proc and remove the silence, but if he gets put on him afterwards, yeah, Mind Control even also will have very difficult times. And they use the Chrono, but they've got a Refresher Shard, so Dream already moves that into his bags at the ready.
And boldly going up to that high ground again. He's got his BKB at the ready too. They back Hex, start off onto the Faceless Void with a nice little wall stop there. And they're going to take down the Aegis. Oh, it's close. He's still alive. He's still alive, but surely will die. First life gone. Pops that Sand and Yasha back into his inventory. And this is Metamorphosis from the TB. Needing to get to... Oh! Dream, what have you done? That's not the good one. Misses out on another Chrono as Miracle runs forward. The Cataclysm chases towards Lorinov, but the Lina's managed to escape thanks to the forces and lower subs from the rest of the team. Ancient Apparition, left stranded. They've got the stun. Scythe of Ice from the Mind Control too. And we're starting to see it. The Centaur army from Kuroki. We mentioned it, what, a couple of minutes in. That's the chain stuns you need.
And Dream just completely whiffing 2 Chronospheres as well. Yeah. That is, oopsie. maybe panicking a little bit when he gets vacuum hexed and double centaur stomp, but some big mistakes coming out from Gambit. Nigma capitalizes a bit here. Don't have meta for their push, but they're going to try anyway, now that AA is dead. Try to get some type of map control.
And again, looking at buybacks, you know, Nigma have all of theirs. 3 available for Gambit. As the high ground push coming from RTW. They've got Alacrity, they've got TB Illusions. They're not doing anything too rash though here. Slow and steady from Team Nigma. Don't want to give up any targets that could get jumped in. Microtroll's positioning here, it really is that blink hex, blink vac hex. And Dream is going to be the one to get caught. There we go with the meatball. Definitely's last. He's going to save, he's going to get him out of there. Dream, he's nearly dead. Oh, he's gone. He's got buyback though, they've got to pop it. Turn this back around, but Afterlife he's being blown up by RTW. But the TB, Laguna bladed, and Dream's buyback will open it up onto Kuro.
Again, I'd have to see a quick replay now, and Dream kind of just panicked. He BKB'd, popped Satanic, had nothing to hit, and just ran around in circles. I think he could have just BKB'd and time walked out. Bit of a mistake from him, and now he doesn't have buyback. This is now a concerning moment here for Gambit. If he gets caught again,
could be lights out.
Yeah, he actually just has to spend up his gold. He's going for Lincolns for himself to protect him from the vacuum hex that now has caught him off twice.
They're going to have double hex though now, aren't they? Like Invoker's nearly got his, and I guess he's waiting for buyback plus.
And his hex is a lot more impactful, of course, the Timeless Relic. So it's going to last even longer versus that Void. Dream making some big slip-ups for his team.
Dire's top
and here we have it.
We get to see this again. It looked like he had a moment, right? Because I think he got Lotus for a second to try to protect him, but...
Well, yeah, now he's fine.
He stood around. It's okay. A little bit of a slip up as the fight is going on in the base for a second here, but
right, pop BKB Satanic, and does have to buy back there, but Gambit on the front foot once more.
ILTW not wanting to buy back himself.
Just give up the barracks, relinquish a little bit of room here.
GH.
Immersion onto GH. Light Striker 8. Yeah, that's a tanky Nix. Deep underground. So Gambit claim what they needed. It's buildings, objectives, get themselves that opening into the Radiant base, but it's not the killing blow yet, and that's what worries me about this Gambit side, is the ability to finish.
It has to be like everyone's focus has to just be protecting Dream at this point. Lorinov, he's got buyback, everyone else just has buyback, but you need to just make sure that you can protect this Void. They have Force and Glimmer on the AA, but nobody else really has anything fantastic to kind of protect him with besides the Lotus on Afterlife. Who, speaking of Afterlife, has now hit 25, so we've got Nether Toxin with pretty much 0 cooldown now at this point, 3 seconds.
Nice.
So there's going to be multiple of these inside of the fights.
Well, it's our favorite time of the game again. Fogged, 10 seconds until Roshan respawns.
Yep.
The dance of death around the pit.
It's got to be so scary as Dream, too. They have more lives than you. Yeah. Nigma has 10 lives. You only have 7.
And you need Aegis on Dream at this point.
Or sorry, 8. Yeah, and you do need it, absolutely. He's got Lincolns to protect himself, at least versus the initial hex, but now that you said, there is the double that can come out to trip him up. So he has to be very, very wary of his positioning. I don't think he can ever again really frontline like that until he has his buyback available again in the next few moments.
Oh, Kuroki's got a potato. I don't know where the rest of his creeps are, though. Maybe he's lost his Centaur army or something. No, they're all regrouping back up together.
Hey, 1 potato's value.
Yeah, that
10%. It's like a pipe.
That cloak. Super good against AA in particular.
Yeah.
And GH looking to scout out around the Roche pit again.
35 seconds.
That's a fast one. Speedy spawn. Miracles out on the map. Any stragglers, anyone that wants to risk their life to push out a wave?
Lorinov doesn't even know what to buy anymore. He's almost full slotted. He's got, of course, the Ags and the Shard and stuff like that, but it doesn't really fit with his build right now, so going for Aeon perhaps next.
Especially when it comes down to these buybacks, the ability to stay alive, not get burst. Aeon Disc is incredibly important for you.
Yep, and he's got bots too, so he can buy back and join right on top of the fight. Doesn't have to worry about not having an outpost or something along those lines. That's because the continued pressure keeps coming out. Nigma, Fort Spirit's bottom, Iron Shell plus TB Illusions on another lane. So it is still the same thing that Gambit keeps having to react to. That might give Nigma an opportunity to sneak in and catch somebody off guard. AA does not have buyback. It's still a pretty big kill, even if they find BZZ, who's pretty far out right now.
Do they see him? I don't think they do. They spot Immersion in the mid lane. They have sent down BZZ, but they know Immersion is a target they could potentially go for. Missing out the next start of the vacuum back with his Scarlet going. Immersion rolls away thanks to BKB and the Chrono. Cataclysm are going to come and land in onto a couple of the Gambit guys as BZZ's blown up, but RTW survives. Gets away from the Chrono. Immersion destroyed. A double for Miracle. And now Dream's the one in trouble. Oh, Faceless Void. Without buyback, you've got to really hold on for dear hope here that your teammates can respawn, because you got no Chrono, no AA.
He didn't know who to hit. He had no targets there. He just continues hitting GH, who has an A on disc propped. He's in the burrow. Then he switches to TB for a second. He's panicking. I mean, Dream is really starting to crumble a bit here.
And they've still got these Forged Spirits, and it looks like they'll try and level out the barracks in the mid lane. Soundblade still has the meta going. Time dilation for the tornado. Oh, Faceless Void. Dream. Chain stun to stop the EMP. He's been caught out. He's dead. He's gone for 2 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Nigma find the 1 kill they needed to secure this game. And Afterlife, he's just gonna fall flat on his face here, I think. He's dead. A double for RTW. Quick thunder back. Gets the triple kill going. And Gambit completely out of contention. GG's called.
I cannot believe what we just witnessed. Gambit had this game in the bag.
Chen winning a game.
Chen wins a game, but also, oh my, in the manner that they end up losing.